Wanna hear a story about a giant frost mammoth and how he made an unseasonal blizzard and how the small friends helped him feel better? Well, sit tight because this is going to be epic. Once upon a time on a summer day, Robert was playing by a frozen lakeshore with his dragon friend Pyro. They were waiting for the ice to melt so they could go swimming. But the sun was shining and not a single part of the ice had melted yet. There weren't even any birds singing or bees buzzing. It was just weird. And on top of that, weird flowers were frozen mid-bloom. Pyro, look, said Robert, pointing at the flowers. These shouldn't be icy in July. Something's wrong on Green Mountain. And speaking of which, Pyro took a big breath, then puffed out a little bit of steam. The steam created a little rainbow in the cold air. Too cold. Summer hiding. Sad sky. He trailed off. Suddenly, they heard a sound. It was a low, wailing trumpet that echoed across the lake. Then the ice cracked. Quick, hide, Robert whispered to Pyro, ducking behind a snowdrift. Then they watched as a massive shape moved toward them through the blizzard. It was a woolly frost mammoth with ice blue fur matted with icicles, glacier tusks, and sad eyes. He shivered and frost flowers bloomed at his feet. A mammoth? But they've been gone for ages, Robert whispered. He looks trapped, big friend sad, Pyro whispered back, whimpering. His claws slipped on the ice. Ice. Scary. Robert knew that mammoth. That was Boreas, the last of the frost mammoths. Legend told of a time when the land was all ice and snow and only the frost giants and their mammoth mounts roamed the frozen wastes. But the world changed. The glaciers shrank and the frost giants and their mammoths retreated to the far north, or so everyone thought. But clearly he wasn't gone. He was here. Robert and Pyro cautiously approached Boreas. The closer they got, the more they realized he was melting. Huge pillars of ice around him rapidly dripped and flowed, and they soon saw why. His enormous feet were stuck in a pool of slush. Robert touched a nearby melting ice wall. His magic's too strong. He's made of frost, but he's melting his own home. And that's when they heard it again, that low, mournful sound. Only now it was clear what it was. The blizzards come from his sadness, Robert realized. If we don't help him calm down, the whole mountain will freeze. Suddenly, Pyro puffed out a big plume of steam. Can do, he said bravely, trotting up to Boreas. Steam dry? He aimed a puff at the elephant's frozen feet. It hit the slush and instantly refroze, making thick, glassy ice, trapping Boreas even deeper. Oh, no, Robert cried. Your steam's warm. It melts first then freezes. We need. He looked up at the cave walls. Boreas, can you make ice up there? Like a bridge. Boreas rumbled doubtfully. Too high. Weak, not weak, Pyro corrected, his eyes sparkling. Pyro help. Steam ladder. Robert climbed onto Pyro's back. Okay, follow me, Robert said. You have to breathe out your steam in short bursts. You got this, Pyro. Got it, Pyro replied. He puffed out a steady stream of steam, which froze in midair to form floating ice platforms. Jump, Boreas, Robert yelled. Follow our path. Taking a shaky step onto the first platform. It cracked. Hurry, Robert yelled to Pyro. Blast some steam on it, and quickly, Pyro did, reinforcing it with a thick layer of ice. Safe, he panted. One by one, Boreas climbed higher, each step guided by Pyro's puffs of steam. Finally, Robert reached up and grabbed onto the glittering starlight ice, chipping at it with his mittened hand. Careful, he called down. It's really slippery. As much as he tried, he couldn't get any ice chunks down there. So he jumped and caught a handful of starlight ice. He tossed it down and Boreas caught it in his trunk, placing it under his foot. Robert repeated the process until Boreas was free of the sticky slush. With a final effort, Robert chipped away another chunk of ice. Here you go, Boreas, he said. Catch. And Boreas did. Placing it under his foot, he took another step and more ice formed under his foot. And then another step and more ice formed. Soon he was climbing higher and higher, following the path of starlight laid out for him. Meanwhile, Robert cheered him on from below. Almost there, Boreas. You can do it. Finally, Boreas stepped onto solid ground. Instantly, the blizzard stopped. Sun streamed into the cave. Free, he trumpeted joyfully. Warm inside, quiet. His fur glowed ice blue and frost flowers bloomed at his feet. Robert and Pyro approached him cautiously. Do you feel better, Boreas? Robert asked. Boreas nodded. Much better, thank you, friends. So much better. He nuzzled Robert and Pyro with his trunk. I brought you something, he said, gesturing to his tusk with a curl of his trunk. From it grew an intricate ice flower. It didn't melt. For you, he said. Robert took it carefully. It's beautiful, but shouldn't you keep it? Boreas rumbled warmly. Friends bring calm. Remember that, little ones. Then he curled up in a patch of warm sunlight. Pyro curled up against his warm fur, and Robert sat nearby drawing the ice flower in his journal. They stayed like that for a long time, and Robert knew, as he watched the frost mammoth with his dragon and squirrel friend, that even giants sometimes need small friends. The end.